Interior Chinatown, based on Charles Yu's 2020 novel of the same name, has made its debut on Hulu this month. The genre-bending comedy series follows Willis Wu, played by Jimmy O. Yang of Silicon Valley fame, a disgruntled young man who is tired of living a life of waiting tables and playing Asian American cliches in cop shows. Everything changes when he witnesses a real-life crime take place, however, which sucks him into a police procedural of his own, and leads him to discover family secrets connected to the mystery of his older brother. Surprisingly meta in nature, Interior Chinatown reflects on how people are slotted into stereotypes against their will, as well as sometimes forgotten even within their own community. As Willis goes from the generic Asian man in black and white to a fully realized character in the increasingly complex crime drama that has become his life, he begins to question all his previously conceived notions. The series also boasts a fantastic ensemble cast, including Chloe Bennet, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as Detective Lana Lee, Ronnie Chieng, M3GAN, as Fatty Choi, and Tu Ma Mulan, as Willis' father Joe. Jimmy O. Yang, he's always lived in his brother's shadow, because he's made it as Kung Fu guy, and he's always been stuck in the background. Even in his family, he was the least favorite kid. His brother was the star, right? Then his brother disappears and of course, in his heart, he's a grieving little brother who wants to find his brother, but there's also a personal journey that he needs to go through. And at times it's selfish. He's saying he wants to go find his brother, but there's also a desire to do more with his life in his journey. At the end of episode 2, he says, "This is just another thing that my brother got to do that I don't." In a way, although he's sad about his brother's disappearance, he's also very sad and upset about his own life. In that sense, it's a conflicted, flawed character. He wants to do good by his family, but at the same time, he needs to live for himself. Jimmy O. Yang, yeah, I think referring to his brother with that line when he finds out something about him that's unexpected and turns his world upside down. But, really, that line also refers to himself. He is pretending in order to sneak into the precinct, in order to break out of his role in the background of a restaurant as a generic Asian man. He sneaks in as delivery guy, he sneaks in as tech guy, and so on. He's also pretending. I think a lot of people can relate to this. I have done that, where I go to college and try to act like a different person. Then I go to my job, and I act like a different person. I'm like, who am I anymore? Which version is real? This current version, or was the 10-year-old version real? Or maybe not. Jimmy O. Yang, there are actually a lot of similarities as well. First of all, I was actually a waiter in a Chinese restaurant called Chop Suey, a very generic Chinese restaurant. I was also a background actor, and I had so many bit parts. I was Chinese teenager #1, so that really mirrored my journey, especially becoming tech guy and things like that. But the difference is also that he grew up in a very tough environment in the SROs, in Chinatown. It's something I've fortunately never had to experience, and that's something we rarely talk about or see when we talk about Chinatown. We just see the kitschy facade of the Chinese restaurant, and we don't see the actual people who live on top of these restaurants struggling. And oftentimes now they're getting displaced, through gentrification or whatever. Digging into that, I was feeling what he might feel if he grew up and has never left Chinatown. My life was the opposite. I was forced to leave Hong Kong and go to America, but Willis has been stuck in the role and in the place that he's been assigned.